I've always wanted to be a Hot Wheel. How cool is this?
Hot Wheels!
My grandma always loved her 1962 Impala SS, and so did I. Long story short, the car left the family, but I never stopped thinking about it. I tracked it down and bought it back. After a 3.5-year restoration, it's time to drive. I'm Mickey York, and I'm all over the place. So if you're like me, your love of cars started when you were playing with Hot Wheels as a kid. The Hot Wheels Legends Tour celebrates that passion. They're scouring the country for their latest inspiration, so naturally they had to bring the tour here to the Motor City, which, as we already know, is a hotbed for Hot Wheels.
I mean, what can you say? Detroit is the heart of all of this, really. But so this is, and I have a personal soft spot for Detroit in my heart. So it's really nice to be here, and this is probably one of our biggest and the most popular stops, for sure.
So you have to pick one from each stop. It's not an easy task, is it?
You know, when you have 200 plus cars that show up at each stop, it's hard to pick just one. So I start with a clean sheet of paper and some inspiration, right? And then we take that and we turn it into a 1/64th diecast vehicle. And
the Legends Tour is kind of all about finding inspiration, isn't it?
It is all about finding inspiration, right? So we're looking for something that has a level of creativity, a level of authenticity, right, in this kind of garage spirit. And while we're out here, we're pulling a lot of ideas and becoming inspired. We bring that back to El Segundo, to our headquarters.
Why did Hot Wheels feel like it wanted to do something like this, to reach into the market in this way?
Well, it's really about community, right? When you think about, I mean, not just Hot Wheels, but when you think about cars, right, it's and the passion that people have for their cars, and Hot Wheels plays such an important role in this world, from kids to adults, right? So we really want to support the community and encourage the community, right? Because it's important to us, and it's obviously important to the passionate people that turn out to these events.
Do you feel like this is where the passion started for a lot of these people that own these cars today? Is when they were little kids and they were playing with their Hot Wheels?
That's where it started for me.
It's summertime. The last thing anybody wants to do is go to school, but if you could ride to your place of matriculation in this thing, you might just change your mind.
This is a 1997 GMC Van Der short bus. Purchased it about 3 years ago, and it was purchased kind of as a little jab at my wife, because we have 6 children. I have cars that don't fit, obviously, all 6 kids and my wife to go to the ice cream stand or whatever. Me being a car nut, and she wouldn't let me buy a conversion van to haul my kids around, I decided, all right, I'm going to get it back at you, and I'm going to buy a short bus. I mean, I knew I wanted it all the way on the ground, because everybody dreams of having a lowrider short bus. I mean, you know.
Of course.
So, that was the first task. We got it down on the ground. I'm a big 50s and 60s car guy, so I love fender skirts. So I knew I had to skirt the bus. I didn't want to see the rear wheels. Once we got done with that, everybody said, "What color are you going to paint it?" And I'm like, "It's a school bus. It's staying school bus yellow."
And climbing inside is cool too. It doesn't lack for luxury.
No.
These aren't the buses I remember riding in.
No, this is not your typical short bus interior. Yeah, there again, it goes back to if I go on a vacation and I want to take my kids, I want to be able to throw them in here and be comfortable and go down the road for 5-6 hours.
There's so many deserving cars here. I don't know how the judges are going to pick just one, but I can't imagine a more deserving candidate than this tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen.
It is a Tuskegee Airmen military tribute car. On it, I honor two living legends that live locally that I've known since 2003. On the passenger side is Harry Stewart, who is 94. He'll be 95 on the 4th of July. And on April 1st of 1945, Harry got credit for knocking down 3 FW-190s. People, when they see me on the street or in the gas stations, they see the 3 swastikas on the left fender. Each side emulates the sides of their plane, and the left side just happens to emulate the left side of his plane with the 3 swastikas showing his 3 knockdowns. On the passenger side, I honor Alexander Jefferson, who's currently 97. He'll be 98 in November. On Alex's 18th mission, he was shot down. He served the balance of the war as a POW. When the camp was, when he was taken prisoner, he went and was interrogated by a German colonel who spoke clear English. And this German colonel had all kinds of background data on him. Alex grew up in Detroit, born and raised, Chatsey High School. Father owned a house southwest Detroit. This German colonel had his father's property tax records, had Alex's high school records. Come to find out, this German colonel had recently graduated from the University of Michigan. He said he couldn't wait for the war to be over so he can come back to Detroit because he loved it so much. I strongly suspect he came back to Detroit. Who wouldn't want to come back to Detroit?
It's your toy truck. Do you think it could be a Hot Wheels toy at the end of the day?
You never know. It's pretty cool. I think it's worthy. It looks kind of Hot Wheels with the bigger tires and bright paint. Kids dig it.
Do you want to drive this or this? At the Hot Wheels Legends Tour, anything is possible, and that's got us all over the place.
I call it the Spaceliner because in 1960 Ford made a Sunliner and they made a Starliner. So this looks like a concept car, so I call it the Spaceliner.
Why did you go this route with it?
Well, my all-time favorite car, Hot Wheels car growing up, was called Split and Image, and it had double bubbles. And I thought someday I want to have one of those. And so I've been through all kinds of muscle cars and Cobras and rat rods. I thought, you know what? If I'm ever going to do it, I need to do it now. And so I looked around for a couple years. Every car I would see, I would envision it with a top cut off. And so I was watching Andy Griffith one day, and in the first few episodes, they drive a 1960 Ford. And when I saw the horizontal fins and everything, I thought that would be a perfect bubble top.
So a Hot Wheel was literally the inspiration.
Oh, definitely. Split and Image. Not splitting, Splitting Image was my, yep.
I remember it.
Yeah, it was my favorite because I think it was heavier and it always went on the track faster. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about being a part of a Hot Wheels show now with this car?
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, I left about midnight last night from Indiana to be here today. I wanted my picture in front of the big bubble shrink wrap thing. I thought that'd be so cool. And so, yeah, I love it.
What has it been about Hot Wheels that have been so important to you throughout your life?
It was just a fun toy.
Yeah, it's not just for kids anymore,
No,
is it?
the convention in Dearborn, you'd be surprised. It was all adult collectors. A lot of kids, but they bring their kids. Like I brought my kids. All adult collectors. I met people from all over the world, Japan, Germany, all over the states, all over the U.S., and they come to these conventions are massive.
the whole concept of the Hot Wheels Legends Tour?
I think it's great. I think it's great. I don't know if they have a Nash Hot Wheels, so they should come look at this one. I think it's great.
What do you think of the show?
I love it. It's great. There is a huge turnout. There are a lot of really cool cars. I've been taking pictures up and down through, so it's great.
The winner is a man from this city that put a number of cars together and has a vehicle that has a really genuine Hot Wheels stance. It's hands down a Hot Wheels vehicle, and that's Paul Jurowitz with the 57 Dream Roadster.
Paul, congratulations. What's it mean to you to be the winner of the Hot Wheels show?
It's a total unbelievable thing. I mean, we came out here almost on a last-minute deal, and it's flattering. I mean, we came out here last year as spectators, and now we won the event. So.
Did you play with Hot Wheels as a kid?
Of course. I've still got the ones, and I've got smaller versions of the coupe version of this at home in my collection. So.
Did you always want a real-life Hot Wheel?
It started out that way as maybe I could possibly do it, and back in the day when Harry had Warhoops Junkyard on 18 Mile in Van Dyke, we stopped in there, and he had the Studebaker there that you needed to build this project. So I had already sold my CUDA, and it was like, if we're ever going to do this, now's the time. So
what was the process like to create this car?
It was actually, I took the dimensions. My son, who was young at the time, is now in his 30s, Robert. He took the dimensions from a 1/24 scale model kit, and we grew them the full size, and then made everything fit proportionate to what we needed to have on here. So,
right. It's a mishmash of several vehicles, yes?
At least 25 cars are mixed into it right now. We haven't even sat down and added them all up yet. So
you're going to be going to SEMA. Have you been able to process that yet?
Not really. I mean, it's like a dream. I've always wanted to go, but I guess now I have the opportunity to go, so it'll be exciting.
You'll be one of 18 finalists?
Yes, exactly. So I'm sure there'll be other quality cars there, and we'll all be out and having a good time. So it may not be a Hot Wheel, but it is a hot rod, and we're ready to roll. We'll see you next time all over the place.